and saying he's a little bit frustrated because obviously you guys saw his PC died in that last game, but not in the last game, but in the last series. He's just mentioning that he's got really bad FPS issues, so maybe that is part of the problem, and we'll see if it holds him back in the rest of the matches here as we get this going. To the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg, this is Reynor going up against the green Zerg in the top left. Our only ZvZ of the day, guys. This is Denver. Only High coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much indeed for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. Tell you what, you can have this last blue decoration in this bag because it already has a hanger on it, and I'm running out of hangers. Thanks so much, Only High. You guys are loving the chat, guys. For Twitch Prime sub coming through. Again, well, let's just see how this goes, because this was a 12 pool from Reynor, so looking to get a little bit damaged in the early stages. Sorry, I was trying to multitask and I didn't see the 12 pool, so ay, Wardy, when will you ever learn to cast? Does anyone else think this caster is a really bad observer? I do. Alright then, so a few lings starting to nibble their way through this natural expansion. Hatchery taking quite a bit of damage. Drones are going to be pulled down here, and we'll go for a few a little bit of shots, but obviously that's kind of the intention here from Reynor, to get these drones to pull down to the low ground. Oh, a couple of drones down so far, and another drone getting picked off as well. Zergling's moving around the left. Obviously, we saw Denver already today, 2 owed Marine Lords, so looking to see how the group looks after Denver versus Reynor, as we do have those lings continue to kind of go at each other. Zergling's coming in from Denver, and well, the Queen pops out now as well, so overall, feels like Denver's bought enough time to get that Queen up and to keep this hatchery alive. Reynor has caused a lot of lost mining time though, and back at home he has got his own hatchery up with an equal worker count. Reynor's kind of done enough here. Ling speed not started because obviously he was very late onto his gas. That's kind of what happens with a 12 pool. But Denver with the Ling speed, that is maybe something he can use to try and get some damage done as we move on here. In game 1 of this best of 3, we're over halfway through the day now, guys. This is series number 6 out of 10. So we've been live about 3 hours, just over. Don't really expect the next few matches to take quite as long, honestly. There's going to be a little bit less time between games and stuff. But we'll probably live for at least another couple of hours here. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the series go. Obviously, we could get some really long games. So, we'll get this going. Ling is out in the center. As they run around there, drone takes a little bit of a nibble, and again the lings gathering up ling speed on those lings of Denver coming around, and the lings of Reynor trying to fight back as well. Third hatchery dropping down as you see the Overlord moving forwards, and the Baneling Nest from Reynor dropping down in the back of the natural. So Baneling Nest dropping down in the back of the natural. Drone is set up here, going towards the third base, and again just going to be seeing that Queen of Denver pushing the Overlord out into the center. The Zerglings of Denver continue to deal some damage on the third hatchery. We do see the lings with speed coming in. I mean, these lings from Reynor are pretty dead, right? So try and do whatever you could, but gets punished for it. That is going to be some damage right there. Ling's running down the left. As you see, Ling speed of Reynor is going to set up a few Banes here, but unfortunately, he's just going to have to cancel them. +1 melee on the way out from Denver 2, and just going to be seeing a few more Zerglings on the way up. As you do see, just so many units here from Reynor coming across the map, and looking to see if he can really keep this pressure on. I mean, 31 to 30 workers. Denver counters and will grab himself a Queen here. Third hatch of Reynor might be in some trouble too, but this third hatch of Denver is definitely in trouble. He kind of dove for it for a moment or two there. Denver will be able to surround and push this back. As we do see these Banes continue to come over. Reynor will try and see what he can do, and oh well, the first couple of Banes are pretty good, but of course more lings will be streaming out pretty quickly here from Denver. He's going for a +1 melee, so will eventually get the advantage in this, but it does also mean wanting to play a Ling Bane style with +1 melee. He's going to be punished real hard for not he's going to be punished real hard for not having a third hatchery, because obviously Ling Bane is very lava intensive. So missing out on an entire production structure there with that third hatch, that's really, really painful. Zergling's coming through the top side as we see the other Lings from Denver continue to push down. A couple of Banes there from Reynor as the Lings will counterattack straight in towards the natural mineral line. This Queen in a little bit of trouble is going to drop, so one Queen down and the other Lings escaping up into the main base. As you see the Zerglings of Denver coming through, and it will be a cleanup. He's still across the map and he's about to have that +1 melee, so he's finally going to be in favor. But as long as Reynor still has Banelings up, he will still be able to one-shot those Zerglings. That's why oftentimes Carapace is somewhat favored here, because then at least the Lings can not only win Ling versus Ling fights, but they also end up with the kind of situation where the Banes don't one-shot them anymore. These Banes coming in from Denver, it doesn't really feel like they get too much damage dealt. There's that one Baneling left, which is continuing to make Reynor run around, but for the most part, feels like Reynor's dealt with this very well. He'll lose another Queen. The Ling's still streaming on in. Reynor has an 11 worker lead as well, so he can even afford to take a little bit of damage here. As he loses a few of these drones, he'll still remain up in the worker count by 5. These Lings are still streaming in though from Denver. I mean, Reynor, as he starts to get a few roaches out, the first few will be a little bit troublesome, because on their own, they're going to get surrounded and they will die very quick. But as they stack up in numbers, those roaches become much difficult to justify surrounding and dealing with just the Zerglings. So you're going to have to start being very careful there. More Lings coming down to the bottom as we do see a couple of Banes from Reynor morphing in on the right-hand side. Here's a couple of Banes moving forwards there too. Another Baneling morphing in as we get all of this rolling. Nice target fire by Denver. Gets the Banelings very effectively. We're probably going to see now if these roaches can be surrounded and fighted and kind of killed off here. There we go. Surround comes in, but the Banes will protect them. And that's obviously a pretty big deal. We're going to see another couple of Banes coming through as well. Oh, one Bane there goes off on another of the Banelings. And it's going to be seen those roaches continue to be picked off there. And it's going to be a complete shutdown. And Denver will have all of these units picked off. But then again, his own unit's going down too. So it's a complete shutdown, probably the wrong phrase. As we do see again, more roaches coming out from Reynor, and he's still maintaining just a slight worker lead, which kind of feels as though he's getting into, overall, a pretty decent advantage. Roach drops down from Denver. He does start with the +1 missiles. That's already in play here from Reynor. That's also big because it means those roaches are obviously now 2-shotting Zerglings instead of 3-shotting Zerglings. So that's obviously a really big deal. As you see, those Lings still out in the center. Lings moving all the way back to the left-hand side. There's actually a couple of Lings diving by from Reynor there. All said and done, it's turned into an even-ish game. The big difference is the missiles upgrade, but obviously Reynor is going to be not able to go any further with that because he doesn't have the lair. And without roach speed, it obviously means that all of these roaches are very slow and clunky. So in terms of being able to maybe pull off a large attack or anything, it doesn't really seem like it's the opportunities there for either player, but we'll see what changes over the next minute or two. Maybe as roach speed comes up, we'll see a bit more of this roach-on-roach aggression. As currently Reynor is just droning away. Lings will run in to try and grab those Queens, which are chasing down an Overlord. The Bane's used pretty inefficiently there. Looks as though the Queens will probably not chase the Overlord any further. It's quite far off creep. The Overlord's quite far away in general now. Ling's definitely buying enough time. A couple Ling's already in this main base as Reynor will lose another couple of drones. Denver diving around to see what he can do. More roaches from Reynor heading up towards the main to see what else he can get done. And the Queen's able to pick up another couple of kills. Reynor up the right side, so we'll see a 4th hatchery going to drop down here as well. So 4th hatchery going to drop down into play, and well, there's a Carapace upgrade on the way up from Reynor. And keep spreading up the right side of the map. Here come the roaches, starting to march towards the top left-hand side. So Reynor marching across the far left, and we do see the roach speed not tier 5 a player. Reynor has a slight army supply lead going into this, but is it enough to really make anything happen? I mean, he has no upgrade advantage. The roaches, I just feel like in general, even reinforcing, there's obviously a bit of an issue in all of this. As you see the roaches backing away over the right side. A couple of creep units pushing up the right side as well. A lot of these roaches in the center from Denver continuing to move around here. A couple of Ravagers getting set up. Pneumatized Carapace is starting as well on this 3rd base. Overlord gets taken down, and again, roaches from Reynor just continue to pick their way through these rocks. Maybe looking to corrosive bow down a couple of these rocks and make some space. So Reynor's roach speed is about to finish, as is Denver's. The game has definitely calmed down a lot at this stage. Players getting a lot of map control if their overlord's spreading out, able to see everything. Reynor's going to push across. He is going with an army supply advantage. Roach speed about to finish, so now this time reinforcements will come across the map a lot faster too. Oh, that's a nice initial corrosive battle as well. Denver hits a supply block there. It's a heavy one too. 157 over 154. With Reynor running across the map, there's a real opportunity for him to push into this fourth base here. As Roaches and Ravager still coming forwards. You'll see him, well, maybe a little bit surrounded. Ravager count is definitely higher from Reynor as well. Some more corrosive battles to use for himself as he eats a corrosive battle right there. The next couple are pretty okay from Denver too. He is being pushed back as Reynor maybe just has a little bit too much here. He did have that army supply lead, and it's starting to show as he just collapses on this Roach Ravager. And over the course of the game, Reynor was just a little bit too effective, a little bit too good on the work. Oh, fuck. Okay. Who is it? It's Roddy. Roddy's going to play. That's the big one. That is the big one. Roddy's going to be taking part. There you go, Rotterdam. The man, the myth, the legend. Port goes above and beyond. Doesn't realize it, but he does. He thought it was 22, not 12. Roddy's kind of excited though, right guys? We're going to have Roddy taking part in a group against a whole bunch of great players. Beastie Cutie's going to be playing. We're going to be having players such as Cham is taking part. He hasn't played in our tournaments in a while. Marine Lord's confirmed he's going to be playing as well. We're going to be having some other players such as Clem confirmed he's going to play. DNS, Bly, Mana. Those are just a few of the WardiTV Christmas Invitational players that are going to be taking part. Again, the big one that I think is really different is Rotterdam. So there you go. Holy shit. I mean, let's just watch the start of this game because it is a 12 pool. As Port is now on 332 subs in the channel. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. $332. Aye, aye, aye. Port making an even 400. Don't bait him slowly. Don't make him do it. The Christmas tree's already about to die. Zergling's on the way up here from Denver, about to arrive in the natural expansion. And this 12 pool, let's see how it goes as we do see lane speed though from Denver as well. So it's not actually just a 12 pool, it's like a 13-12. Sorry, that's with Port distracting me. So it's a 13-12, looking to get himself with the link speed as well. A little bit of damage done, but I mean, there's the first Banelings on the way up. So 4 Banes coming through at the moment. Zergling's coming in right now. And you see a Queen getting surrounded there by those Zerglings. That is going to go down as we do see a drone gets picked off, and the Banes is going to keep going up. I mean, the first Queen goes down very quickly. Reynor trying to defend. He's about to have a Spine Crawler. The Banes don't quite know if they want to go off near the Spine Crawler or not. Oh, loses one Bane near nothing. The Spine actually hits the Bane down, so it actually goes off on the Queen. That's not great either. And Denver doesn't actually do all that much with this initial aggression, with more Lings popping out now from Reynor. And his own Bane, and that's about to finish. I feel like Reynor's actually in a pretty good spot here. 6 workers lost, but obviously has a hatchery over his opponent. Denver has to keep on making units, but he kind of has to win with these units that he's making. And I mean, more Lings are about to arrive, but with 4 Banes coming up, I feel like Reynor is well and above the level of defense that's needed to survive at this stage. Queen at the front with some Banes as well, and I mean, Denver's also backing away, doesn't quite find an opportunity yet, runs forwards with some Banes from the main base. Oh, that's not a good connection. Okay, well, that's just going to be GG. Reynor takes it 2-0 against Denver, and he will